Welcome students. Today we will solve ninth problem on moment of inertia. So let us start the lecture. So we are given one composite area and we are asked to find moment of inertia about given x-axis and y-axis. So over here one composite area is given to us and two axes are shown. One is horizontal axis labeled as xx. Second is vertical axis labeled as yy. Now over here we can see that this composite area is symmetric about y-axis and the x-axis shown to us is at a distance of 19.26 from this particular point, or we can say it is at 59.26, 20 plus 20 plus 19.26 from the base of this composite area. And we are asked to find Ix and Iy for this composite area. So let us start with the Ix first. And we know whenever we have to find moment of inertia of any composite area, the very first step is that we should divide that composite area into regular areas. So let us see how many regular areas we can make for this composite area. Okay, so let us see how many areas we can make in this case. So let me draw one line over here and let me draw another line at this point, and let me add two more lines at these 2 points. Now you can see we have divided this composite area into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 regular areas. So let us name these as 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Out of these 5 regular areas, we have 3 rectangular areas and 2 triangular areas. It means if I want to find moment of inertia of this whole composite area about, let us say, x-axis first, then our equation will be equal to Ix, that is moment of inertia of this composite area about the main axis, is equal to Ix1 plus Ix2 plus Ix3 plus Ix4 plus Ix5. So where Ix1, Ix2, Ix3, Ix4 and Ix5 are the moment of inertias of area 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 about the main axis, x-axis respectively. It means if we have to find Ix, we first have to find these 5 unknowns. So let us start with the first unknown, that is Ix1. Now what we do for Ix1, the very first step is that we should find area of that regular area. Now in this case area 1 is this rectangular area, and if we have to find its area, then its area A1 will be equal to length into width. So length is 100 and its width is 30. So A1 will be equal to 3000 mm square. Now we know the next step is that we have to find the centroid of this particular area. If it is a rectangular area, that means its centroid will lie at L by 2 and B by 2. It means exactly in the center, or you can say on this axis of symmetry. So you see this particular centroid is at L by 2 from this end, that is 50, and B by 2 from this side, that is 15. Now after that, from that centroid we will draw its centroidal axis, and we will keep that centroidal axis parallel to the main axis about which we want to find the moment of inertia. So as we know, the main axis is a horizontal axis, so we have to draw horizontal centroidal axis at that centroid. So let us name this as G1. Now after this we know that we have to find the distance between these two axes, that is the main axis and the centroidal axis of area 1. So that distance will be called as H1. So let us find this distance now. Now over here we are given the position of x-axis from bottom as 59.26, whereas the position of this axis from the bottom will be equal to 20 plus 80 plus 15, that is 135 mm. So if we have to find distance between these two axes, we will say 135 minus 59.26. So H1 will be equal to 135 minus 59.26. So we'll get its value as 75.74 mm. Now we know after finding H1, the next step is we should find area moment of inertia of area 1 about its own centroidal axis, that would be called as Ig1. And we know it is a rectangular area, so area moment of inertia about its centroidal axis will be given by the formula BD cube by 12. And we know B is that side of the rectangle which is parallel to the centroidal axis. So parallel to this centroidal axis, we have this side of the rectangle, that is 100. It means our formula will become 100.30 cube by 12. So from here we will get the value of Ig1. After this, we know that we apply parallel axis theorem to find area moment of inertia of area 1 about the main axis, and that will be called as Ix1. So equation will be Ix1 is equal to Ig1 plus A1 H1 square. So put these three values calculated by us in this particular equation, then we will get Ix1. So we have found the first unknown in this equation. Now we have to work for the second unknown, that is Ix2. So let us find Ix2. So what will be the first step for Ix2? The first step is find the area of second regular area. Now second regular area is also a rectangular area. So let us see its dimensions. Its length is 25 and its width is how much? It is 80 plus 20. 80 plus 20. So its width is 100. It means its area will be 25 into 100, that is equal to 2500 mm square. Now after this we know that the next step is we should locate the centroid of area 2. So let us see where the centroid of area 2 will lie. It will lie at L by 2 and B by 2. L is 25. It means it will lie at 12.5, or you can say on this axis of symmetry. And from bottom it will lie at 100 by 2, that is B by 2. So that is from this side it will be at 50. So let us mark the centroid of area 2. So this distance is 12.5 and this distance is 50. So let us label this as G2. Now the next step is that from that centroid we draw a horizontal line. We call it as centroidal axis. Why we are drawing it horizontal? Because we have to keep it parallel to the main axis. The next step is we have to find the distance between these two axes, that is between the main axis and the centroidal axis of area 2. So let us find this distance now. Now we know the position of this main axis from the bottom is at 59.26 and position of the centroidal axis of area 2 will be 20 plus 50. So position of centroidal axis of area 2 from bottom is at 70. So distance between these two axes will be 70 minus 59.26. That will be called as H2. 70 minus 59.26. So this will be equal to 10.74 mm. Now we know after finding H2, we have to find Ig2. What is Ig2? It is the area moment of inertia of area 2 about its own centroidal axis. And area 2 is a rectangular area, so Ig2 will be given by BD cube by 12. Now in this case, parallel to the centroidal axis, we have this side of the rectangle, that is 25. So B is 25 and D is 100. It means this formula will be 25 dot 100 cube by 12. So from here we will get the value of Ig2. Now after this we know that we can find Ix2 by applying parallel axis theorem. So we will say Ix2 is equal to Ig2 plus A2 H2 square. So put the values of these three in this equation, then we will get second unknown of this particular equation, that is ix2. Now let us move on to the next unknown, that is ix3. So how to find ix3? ix3 is related to area 3. It means the very first step is we should find its area. So it is a rectangular area. It means its area will be length into width, that is 200 into 20. So we'll get 4000 mm square as its area. Now after this we have to locate the centroid of area 3, and it is a rectangular area. It means its centroid will lie at L by 2 and B by 2. L by 2 means from this side it will be at 100, that means on this axis of symmetry, and V by 2 means from base it will be at 10. So it means this distance is 100 and this is 10. Let us call that as G3. And the next step is, on that centroid we will draw horizontal center line which will be parallel to the main axis. Now the next step is we should find H3. What is H3? H3 is the distance between the main axis and the centroidal axis of area 3. Means this distance. This is H3. So how we can find this distance? Very easy. We can say the position of main axis from base is at 59.26 minus 10. That is the position of centroidal axis from the base. So H2 will be 59.26 minus 10. That will be equal to 49.26 mm. Now we know after finding H3, the next step is we should find area moment of inertia of area 3 about its own centroidal axis, that is called as Ig3 in this case. It is a rectangular area, so the formula will be BD cube by 12. Now, parallel to the centroidal axis, we have this side of the rectangle, that is 200. So in this case, 200 is B and D is 20. So we'll say 200 dot 20 cube by 12. So we'll get the value of Ig3. Now we know that once we get these three values, we can apply parallel axis theorem to find Ix3. That will be equal to Ig3 plus A3H3 square. So put the values of A3, I3 and Ig3 in this equation. We will get the moment of inertia of area 3 about the main axis, that is Ix3. So we have found the third unknown in this equation. Now we'll move to the fourth unknown, that is Ix4. So let us see how we can find Ix4. Ix4 is related to area 4. It means the very next step is we should find A4. That is area of the next triangular area, which is a triangular area. So in this case we will say half into base into altitude. So let us see how much is the base of this triangular area. Now you can see total length is 200 minus this distance, that is 25, 175 divided by 2, that will be equal to 87.5. So the base of the triangle is 87.5 and this height is given to us over here as 20. It means A4 will be half into 87.5 into 20, that is equal to 875 mm square. Now after finding its area, we know the next step is we should locate the centroid of this area. Now the next step is we have to find the centroid of area 4. So how we can find its centroid? We know it is a triangular area and the centroid of triangular area lies at h by 3 from its base. So in this case we have a right angle triangle. So what we will do, we will consider one time this side as base and this as height. So we'll say that from this base centroid will lie at a distance of h by 3. H is 20, so we'll say 20 by 3. Then we will consider this as base and this as height, and this height is 87.5 we have found. Then we will say from this base centroid lies at h by 3, so that is 87.5. So we will locate the centroid of triangular area in this manner. But right now we are dealing with the x-axis, that is a horizontal axis. So From that centroid, we will draw only centroidal axis which is parallel to that mean axis. So that's why we have drawn a horizontal line from the centroid. Now the next step is that we have to find the distance between these two axes. So that will be called as h4. So let us see how we can find that distance. Now we know the main axis is at a distance of 39.26 from this side, and this centroidal axis is lying at h by 3 from this side, that is 20 by 3. It means distance between these two main axes will be 39.26 minus 20 by 3. So h4 is 39.26 minus 20 by 3, that is equal to 32.59 mm. Now once we get the value of h4, we know the next step is to find Ig4. What is Ig4? The area moment of inertia of area 4 about its own centroidal axis. Now we know it is a triangular area. So at the centroid of the triangular area, or you can say at the centroidal axis of the triangular area, which is parallel to its base, we have a moment of inertia of BD cubed by 36. So where B is that side which is parallel to the centroidal axis. So this is base. It is 87.5 and D is 20. So let us put the values 87.5 into 20 cubed by 36. So from here we will get value of Ig4. Now it's time to apply parallel axis theorem to get Ix4. So we will say Ix4 is equal to Ig4 plus A4 H4 square. Put the values of these three in this equation, we will get value of Ix4. So we have found the fourth unknown in this equation, that is Ix4. Now next is we should go for Ix5. So when you will find Ix5, you will see that area 5 is exactly similar to area 4. So there is no need to calculate Ix5 separately. We will directly say Ix5 is equal to Ix4. So we will take same value calculated in the previous step. Now you can see we have calculated all the unknowns in this equation. So we just have to put the values in that equation to get our first answer, that is Ix. So Ix is the area moment of inertia of this whole composite area about the main axis, that is x-axis. So we are done with the first part of this problem. Now we have to start the second part, that is we have to find Iy. So what is Iy? Iy is the area moment of inertia of this composite area about axis yy, and that is equal to Iy1, Iy2, Iy3, Iy4, Iy5. Why? Because 5 regular areas are involved through which we will get the area moment of inertia of the composite area. So we will say that find the area moment of inertia of all the regular areas about the same axis and add those values, only then we can get Iy. It means the very first step is that we have to find Iy1 first. So let us start with Iy1. So in order to find Iy1, again we have to find the area of that area A1, that is equal to 100 into 30. So next step is locate the center of area A1. We know it is at L by 2 and B by 2, that we have seen in the calculations of Ix1. Now what is the change over here? Change is that from that centroid, now we have to draw its centroidal axis parallel to the main axis. Now main axis in this case is a vertical axis. It means we have to draw a vertical line through that centroid. And then we have to find the distance between the centroidal axis and the main axis. But in this case you will find that both axes are at same place, so in this case h1 is 0. It means now we have to find Ig1, that is area moment of inertia of area 1 about its own centroidal axis. So it is a rectangular area, so we will say BD cubed by 12. Now that side of rectangle will be B, which is parallel to the central axis. So to this central axis, this side of rectangle is parallel. So in this case, B is 30 and D is 100. So let us put these values 30 dot 100 cube by 12. So we'll get Ig1. So once we get value of Ig1, we will apply parallel axis theorem to get Iy1. So that will be equal to Ig1 plus A1 H1 square. We know H1 is 0. It means Iy1 will be equal to Ig1 only. Now we have found the first unknown, that is Iy1. Now we will move to the second unknown, that is Iy2. So in order to find Iy2, the very first step is find the area. Area we have already calculated when we were calculating Ix2, that was 25 into 100. Now we have to locate the center of area 2, and we know it lies at L by 2 and B by 2, so that will be equal to 25 by 2 and 100 by 2. But what is the change now? From that centroid we have to draw centroidal axis by keeping it parallel to the main axis. Main axis is a vertical axis, so centroidal axis will also be vertical. And we know both are at same place, so H2 in this case will be 0. Now we will find Ig2, and it is a rectangular area, then Ig2 will be equal to BD cube by 12. Now, in this case, we are considering vertical centroidal axis. So parallel to this axis, we have this side of the rectangle, that is 100 mm. So 100 will act as B and 25 will act as D. So formula will become 100.25 cube by 12. So from here we will get value of Ig2. So once we get these values, let us apply parallel axis theorem to get Iy2. But we know again H2 is 0, so Iy2 will be equal to Ig2 only. Now, we have found Iy2, let us move to Iy3. So in order to find Iy3, we have to find A3, and this we have already calculated when we were calculating Ix3, and we know it is 200 by 20. So what is the next step? Locate the centroid. Where centroid will lie? It will lie at 200 by 2 and 20 by 2. This we know. But what is the change? Now from that centroid, we will draw a vertical centroidal axis because we have to keep it parallel to the main axis. And then we will find that both the axes are at same place. So H3 will be equal to 0. Now in the next step, we have to find Ig3. That is area moment of inertia of area 3 about its own centroidal axis. And it is a rectangular area, so Ig3 will be equal to BD cube by 12. Now, parallel to this centroidal axis, we have 20 mm as the side of rectangle. So 20 will be B of the rectangle and 200 will be D for that rectangle. So this formula will become 20.200 cube by 12. So once we get Ig3, now apply parallel axis theorem, but we know H3 is 0, so Iy3 will be equal to Ig3 only. So we have calculated Iy3, now we will calculate Iy4. So that is related to area 4. Area 4 is a triangular area, and we know this side is 87.5 and this is 20. So area will be half into 87.5 into 20. That we already know when we were calculating Ix4. Now next step is we have to locate the centroid, and we know from this base it will lie at 20 by 3, and from this base it will lie at 87.5 by 3. But now from that centroid we have to draw centroidal axis as vertical axis because main axis is vertical, so we have to keep it parallel to the main axis. Now we have to find H4, means you have to find distance between these two axes. It is quite simple. We know this y-axis is lying exactly in the mid of this length, that is 25. So it means this distance is 12.5, and we know this distance is 87.5 divided by 3. So distance between these two will be H4 is equal to 87.5 divided by 3 plus 12.5. So that will be equal to 41.66 mm. So now we have calculated value of H4. Now we have to find Ig4, that is area moment of inertia of area 4 about the centroidal axis. Now we know for a triangular area moment of inertia about centroidal axis is given by the formula BD cubed by 36. And B is that side of the triangle which is parallel to the centroidal axis. So that will be called as B. And other side will be D. So in this case 20 is B and 87.5 is D. So we will say Ig4 is equal to 20.87.5 cubed divided by 36. So from here we'll get the value of Ig4. Now once we get these three values, we know we can easily find Iy4 by applying parallel axis theorem. So that is equal to Ig4 plus A4 H4 square. Put these values, get the value of Iy4. Now it's time to find Iy5. And we know I55 will be similar to Iy4 because area 4 and area 5 are similar. So whatever value we have calculated for Iy4 in the previous step, that is equally applicable to Iy5. Now we know we have calculated all the unknowns in this equation. Now it's time to put those values in this equation and to get our answer, that is Iy. So what is Iy? Iy is the area moment of inertia of this composite area about the main axis. So I hope this numerical is clear to you. Thank you very much.